gyms are closed. I gotta get this aggression out. Let's go.
I describe myself as cold with a conscience. Can't roll with the nonsense. Don't mistake the cover of the book for its contents. I might show you kindness, swim with the piranhas. Things that we forget tend to come back and remind us. Like we all have a past we want to put behind us. Designed to be good, but evil always seems to find us. A man can only change the things he acknowledges. Plus this heat is flame, but skills over politics won't be the same. What really has me stressing out? The gyms are closed, so I can't get this aggression out. Before we get the promises, there must be offenses. The Bill Gates of hell won't prevail against us. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. Say my prayers. Thank God for blessing me. My life's an open book. Could that be why they're testing me? Maybe everything I do is done out of necessity. Stock is on the rise. I think you should invest in me. It's not strange. I'm money like blockchain. Except the things in life that I cannot change. Chant down Babylon. Payback is coming. I ain't LeBron James. You thought I came back for nothing? The game is canceled in the blink of an eyelash. Flow is sick. Grab your N95 mask. The new normal, it gets even scarier. All black and white, there is no gray area. Plain as day, we got the whole package, baby. Competition, their rhymes are all average. And that's my 16, nothing else to say, y'all. 5G raps, find me under the radar.
Well, alrighty then. Alrighty then. Good morning, family. Shalom all. Welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. It is your brother, Priest Daniela. Just want to say good morning to everybody. And really quickly, before I get started, I just need you guys to participate with me for 1 second. You know, when I do these lives from work, they're a little choppy sometimes, right? So I just want to make sure that I can be heard. So if you can hear your brother, if you'd be so kind, if you can hear your brother, if you guys would be so kind as to put 1 in the chat and let me know I can be heard. And so once I know I can be heard, then I'll get started. I don't plan on being in front of you guys too long this morning, but I just wanted to say good morning. It's been a while. I haven't done a live in a little bit. So I said I would come before you guys. I was actually going to do one this morning while I was driving down, but I kind of wanted to share my screen for some of the things I wanted to talk about. So I decided to wait till I got here. All right. I'm currently just sharing the link on Facebook in a couple of Facebook groups, and then we'll get started. All right, there's one. Let me just share it in 2 others really quickly, and then we can get started. Also, if you are in the house, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're on YouTube, if you could be so kind as to hit that like button. You guys know the way the algorithm works. The more likes and more comments, more interaction the video gets, YouTube seems to recommend it to people more. A lot of people have been telling me that you're not getting notifications. I can't do anything about it. You guys are telling me to contact YouTube. YouTube don't give a damn about nobody. This channel been shadow banned, you know what I'm saying? But I still utilize it every now and then, you know. But it's been shadow banned, so I can't do anything other than eventually I guess you'll come across the video and your recommendations or whatever have you. So I do apologize for those of y'all that have been saying you don't get your notifications from YouTube, but YouTube is messing with everyone's channel. I'm not unique or alone in that regard. So, you know, like I said, you guys hit the like button. The algorithm definitely boosts, definitely help get the video out there for those that are interested in watching it. And you guys can also feel free to share it as well. Okay. Once again, shout out to everybody that's watching on Facebook and on YouTube. All right. So let me just check and see. Okay, so y'all see y'all can hear me loud and clear. Okay, cool. All praise to the Most High. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get started with our conversation. right? So this is what I want to say to you, brothers and sisters, real quick. Hold on 1 second. I gotta do one other thing. If you don't mind. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. All right. Now we're talking. All right. So once again, welcome to another edition of Maccabees TV. It's your brother Priest Dan Lines of Israel. So this morning, I just wanted to kind of just touch bases with the family. Like I said, it's been a minute. I've been kind of focusing on internal stuff within the camp, and I haven't been live, but I wanted to come before you guys today. So we are in an election cycle right now. And every time an election cycle comes around, we know politicians, especially the Democratic Party specifically, always panders to what they would call the African American constituency, particularly, and panders for votes because African Americans, so called, make up one of the most important bases of the Democratic Party. Even though the whole election system for president, we all know it's rigged, it's not based on a popular vote. We already know these things. But just for the sake of conversation, today, the Democratic Party claims that African Americans are one of their largest bases of support, without which they cannot win the election for president, right? So every election cycle, when we speak about other groups, like let's say so-called Asian, so-called Chinese, Japanese, etc., let's say the LGBTQ plus, whatever that community is, the alphabet community, politicians promise them and even many times deliver specifics or what they call tangibles to these communities. In other words, if you get me elected into office, I'm going to pass all this legislation. I'm going to earmark this much amount of funds to your community, so forth and so on. Every community gets that except one of the most important, according to them, bases of the party, which is the so-called Black Americans. You know what you get from these politicians? You get symbolism. You get symbolism. And the sad part about the symbolism that you get is you guys, or I should say we, as a people, I'm not talking about those of us in the truth, but we accept the symbolism and we're moved by the symbolism. They have courses in college called political science. And these political science courses, what they do is this is what they teach. How do you energize that important base, the Democratic Party, which is so-called African Americans? You give them symbolism. You don't have to give them tangibles. You don't have to actually do anything for them. You give them symbolisms, right? And you give them symbolisms and they'll pretty much fall in line, okay? Let me give you some examples of some symbolisms that we were given. Let me just go ahead and share my screen so you guys can understand what it is I'm talking about, right? Once again, if you're in the house, please hit the like button. You guys remember many years ago, this guy right here, they call him Slick Willie. Y'all remember Bill Clinton? One of the biggest drug dealers in the history of the state of Arkansas. Running for president, pandering to, again, the so-called base of the Democratic Party. All he had to do was put some shades on, pick up a saxophone, and go on what was then probably the second most popular night talk show on TV, Arsenio Hall, and play the saxophone. And that was enough to move Black people to go out and vote for this guy in record numbers twice. You even went as far as calling him the first Black president. And your first Black president under his watch, more so-called Black and Hispanic and Native American men went to prison than ever before under your so-called first Black president's watch, smiling in your face and stabbing you in your back. But that symbolism was all you needed to move you. Then we had last election cycle. What was that, 2016? Not to be outdone by her husband, you have Hillary Clinton. She went on the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne, the fraud, and his girlfriend, DJ Envy. And she said she walks around with hot sauce in her pocketbook. Who was she pandering to when she said that? So-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Now, I will say this, according to what the experts say, and I don't know if it's true or not true, I didn't really check the statistics. According to what the experts say, Black men really didn't vote for so-called Hillary Clinton. Again, we know the whole voting thing is fake, but black men, according to statistics, didn't vote for her, but black women did. Just her saying that she was running around with some goddamn hot sauce in her pocketbook, and that was enough symbolism for black people to play Hillary is for black people, especially these two clowns, uh, Charlemagne the Fraud and DJ Envy, his girlfriend. That was enough. We got to vote for Hillary. LeBron James pandering, talking about voting for Hillary, campaigning for Hillary. Okay? Hillary didn't promise you nothing. Hillary didn't promise to go back and revisit all those sentencing guidelines that were in place under her husband's administration and roll those things back. Hillary didn't promise to get justice for unarmed black men that were being shot down in the street. She didn't promise black people nothing. She said she walks around with some hot sauce in her pocketbook, and Negroes voted for her. Okay. And so, not to be outdone, that brings us to our next guy here. Good old Jim Crow, as they call him, Jim Crow Joe Biden. The man who is on record saying that he supports or supported segregation. Old Jim Crow Joe said, well, how can I outdo Bill? And how can I outdo Hillary? Now, yes, I was the one that wrote that crime bill that sent all those black men to jail disproportionately on my watch, right? I was the one that said something about I don't want my children going to school in the jungle with black people. Yeah, I said all that stuff. But now I'm running for president. And I saw what happened with Hillary, how a lot of black men and black women, mainly black men, didn't really support her campaign. So how can I pander to the black community? I'm not going to promise them anything. Yes, more than ever, black men are being shot down in the street by police. Nothing has changed. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to, yeah, I might mention it and pass it and saying, oh, we need some studies. That's all they have to do is study. Or we need some better training. That's all they have to say. They never talk about actual punishment, actual prison time, none of that stuff. No. So how can I pander to black people to let them know I'm on their side? I'm not going to promise them any specific legislation for them. No. Oh, I got an idea. Let's get Cardi B. After all, doesn't she have about 70 million people following her on Instagram? Or is it on Twitter? Doesn't she? And doesn't she have the #1 song, as she mentioned, what is it, day before yesterday, in the United States, in New Zealand, in England, in Europe, everywhere she has the #1 song, WAP, and y'all know what that's all about. She has the #1 song. And if you saw that video that she posted 2 days ago where her and Candace Owens were going back and forth, she said that she made that song to teach black women how to clap their peas. You know what I'm talking about. That was the purpose of the song. She made that to teach black women how to clap your peas. I'm paraphrasing. That's pretty much what she said. And this is the person that Joe Biden sits down with as a representative of our community. Why? Because she has all those millions and millions of people following her on Twitter. So if she says vote for Joe Biden, although Joe Biden didn't promise her a damn thing, hopefully black people will fall in line. So that's why I said what I said about our people. We just accept symbolism, and that's good enough for us. Which is why we're in the conditions that we're in today. We're under these curses. We won't turn back to the Most High in the Bible, but we accept symbolisms in exchange for our loyalty. Because we're under these curses, man. We can't see our way. And so, Bill Clinton did his thing. Right. Hillary Clinton did her thing with the hot sauce. Jim Crow Joe hang out with Cardi B. So how would Kamala Harris outdo all of those? Well, she couldn't outdo it. But she said, well, she can't beat them. She might as well join them. How is it that I, who is responsible for locking black men and women up in California at an exponential rate? Black people do not like me for the most part. They don't accept me as being black for the most part. But we need their votes, allegedly. How can I pander to the black community? I know I'm going to throw on some Chuck Taylors. I'm going to throw on some Chuck Taylors. Do y'all see that? Do you see that? What is the name of this article? Kamala Harris, what her sneakers mean. So Kamala Harris decides the best way to pander to our people as a woman of color, wearing sneakers on the campaign, it semaphores a change in political dress and much, much more. Folks, uh, Kamala Harris wearing Chuck Taylors is not pandering to white people or Chinese people or Japanese people or nobody else. That's for you. She wants to be seen as one of you. All of a sudden, when she was prosecutor of California, she was locking black people up left and right. Then all of a sudden, she gets on the Breakfast Club and talks about how she was smoking weed in college, listening to Tupac and Snoop Dogg. Problem was, Tupac and Snoop Dogg at the time she was in college didn't have no records out yet. They didn't have no hits yet. So she lied. So that didn't work. So she throws on some Chuck Taylors. Now, listen, I'm from New York, right? Chuck Taylors ain't been a thing in New York since like the 80s. You might see a sparse amount of people walking around in those joints. But here in the Northeast, Chuck Taylors ain't been a thing since the 80s. My family in the West, my brothers and sisters in the West, right? You guys, this is still a thing for you. That's a staple for you. She's pandering to you, not promising you anything, but giving you some symbolism, right? And so when you read this article, which I'm not going to go through right now, it's all the rage over social media. The big story in the midst of everything that's going on in the world, the big story is Kamala Harris is running around in some goddamn. Okay, this is this is what your world has come to. So you are the victim of basically just being looked at according to political science as a people that just need some symbolism. That's all you need for your loyalty. Just more proof that we as a people are destroyed. We're destroyed as a people. We're destroyed. Let me come over to the chat and just make sure you guys are good. If you are coming in my house late, I would so greatly appreciate if you guys would hit the like button and show your brother some love. Just bear with me 1 second. We're going to come right back. I got some more for y'all. I got some more. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to open up another tab really quickly. Hit the like button if you already came in the house. As I mentioned, bear with me 1 second. Boom. Close player. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Right. Black Cloud Mommy said we didn't vote to get in this, and we ain't voting to get out. That's right. That's right. All praises to the Most High. Okay. So let's continue. Let's continue. So I don't want to be before you guys too long. I'm at work. I got some stuff to do here. So I want to get through this. Let's continue. All right. So let's review real quickly, and then let's get to the next tab. So we had Bill Clinton with the saxophone, pandering to our people. Hillary with the hot sauce. We could call her Hot Sauce Hillary. Hot Sauce Hillary. We have Joe Biden talking to the WAP Queen. We got Kamala Harris rocking the Chuck Taylors, right? So black people are appeased. Okay. Let's get to the next portion of this live stream that I really, which is why I went live. I want to shout out Officer Shomwa Allah because he made me aware of this article. This article actually came out a week ago, but it's local news here in New York. But you guys all need to be aware of it because trust me, something similar is going on where you live. So, in the age of COVID-19, in the age of this pandemic that we're going through right now, you guys know that the sports world is pretty much shut down for the most part. You have the basketball players playing in the bubble. You have a little bit of baseball going on, and they're talking about the NFL coming back, but not on the magnitude or the level that we know those sports to be. Also, remember, the NCAA is a multi-billion-dollar business as well. That's the college teams, like you have the college football and college basketball specifically. And everybody knows that you have something called March Madness every year, right? Where you have 68 teams. I believe it's 68. I think they expanded it, but let's just go with 68 teams right now that play in the NCAA tournament. And you have office pools and bar pools all over the country, all over the place, taking bets on which teams are going to advance and which team will ultimately win the NCAA championship, whether it be the college football championship or whether it be the college basketball championship. So you might be asking me, okay, Dan, what does it have to do with anything? Well, we didn't see March Madness this year, right? And we may not see it again next year. Probably not. But there are a lot of people that like to gamble. And so they had to find something to replace betting on college football and betting on college basketball. What creative thing could our Caucasian counterparts find that they could bet on and win money if they guess correctly? What is the gift that keeps on giving? Well, I'm going to tell you. The gift that keeps on giving is black on black crime. New York bar draws outrage for taking bets on Labor Day weekend shootings. Y'all see that? You have a bar in New York that was making bets on how many of us would be shot during Labor Day weekend. Y'all hear what I'm telling you? New Yorkers, let me talk to y'all for a second. You work in Manhattan, right? And your white counterparts come to work every morning. Let's just say Labor Day weekend. They come in. And as soon as they see you, oh, they have the heartiest good morning. Good morning. How are you? How was your weekend? Oh, great. How's the family? And you just feeling so good. Like, oh, see, what is these Israelites talking about? White people aren't all bad. Huh? And then Brad and Becky at 5 o'clock, some of them get on the Metro North train and they go north out of Manhattan into Westchester County, where they live away from you, up into Scarsdale and Peekskill and Mamaroneck and Hartsdale, away from you. And then they are their true selves. And you have another group of them that will get on the train going in the opposite direction, the Long Island Railroad, out to Long Island, and amongst themselves, away from you. And when they're away from you, that same person that said, good morning, this is what they do. That's why the Bible says, never trust you. Let's get it. Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. The Bible gives us two classifications for your enemy. You have your enemy amongst your own people, which is the enemy that the Most High and his Son told us that we should love. We should demonstrate the fruits of the Spirit and love towards the enemies of our nation. But you have another enemy that the Bible says in Deuteronomy 28:68 that you'll be sold to. And that is the enemy that you should never trust. Because as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Meaning what? Iron in the right environment, when the right elements are present, will rust. And your enemy that you were sold to in the right environment, when nobody's looking, this is what they're doing. They're taking bets on how many of you will kill each other. Let's go down and let's read this article a little bit more. All bets are off. A Long Island bar has drawn outrage for creating a gambling pool on whether New York or Chicago would have more shootings during Labor Day weekend. Y'all see that? So if I were one of them and I put money on Chicago, the same way that you'll be watching a basketball game and rooting for your team that you bet on to score the most points. Well, if you betted on Chicago, you're rooting for Negroes in Chicago to run up the numbers in terms of killing and shooting each other. This is evil. The Clifton in Patchogue reportedly posted a picture of the Super Bowl style box betting pool to Instagram last week with the caption, "Let shooting sprees begin." Okay. They set it up just like if you've ever been a part of an office pool, or if you worked in an office environment, I'm pretty sure you all have seen an office pool for the Super Bowl. They set up a Super Bowl style office pool based on you killing each other and posted it to Instagram. Family, look at this. Chicago, Labor Day weekend. The numbers vary, right? But the Sun Times says 56 shootings in Chicago. The Tribune and ABC 7 Chicago says 51. The Sun Times says 56. That's a lot. That's a lot. 56 shootings. And these people in this bar were rooting for this. This is what they wanted. I'm trying to keep it calm because I'm at work, you know? I'm trying. New York, 22 shootings over Labor Day weekend. 22. So Chicago had 56 and New York had 22. So all of these cretins, these demonic demons that bet on Chicago, or whoever came the closest, won the pot. All based on what? You killing each other. Okay. So this is your wonderful post-racial America for you right here, brothers and sisters. How y'all like that? I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. So I want to know how I want to come to the comments to see how y'all feel about that. Shalom to you. Thank you. Make sure you hit the like button. Sisters of the Maccabees, shalom to you. Royal Prince, shalom to you. I'm going to get to that London thing in a moment. I have heard about that. We'll get to that in 1 second. All right. All right. So I'm going to end that there. I'm going to go on to something else. I just want you brothers and sisters to be aware of that. So this is 1 second. This is in the New York Post, right? If you're looking for the article, yeah, right there. See it? It says New York bar draws outrage for taking bets on Labor Day weekend shootings. This is a local story in New York, so many of you probably weren't even aware that this happened. Now you guys have it. And make sure that you guys spread that around too and let people know, because some people think that we live in some post-racial utopia, and that's nothing but a damn pipe dream. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get rid of some of these tabs here. I think I talked about all that stuff already. All right, let's move on to this, right? I'm not going to belabor this point. I'm just really going to talk to you guys. You guys can see the article. Let's open it up real quick. This is from USA Today. Speaking of COVID, you guys see the title. It says 2/3 of Americans say they won't get the COVID-19 vaccine when it first becomes available. I don't know if you guys remember, a couple of months ago, Donald Trump said the same thing. He was like, if there's a vaccination created, he said everybody else could take it and he would be last. What is he letting you know? That he knows that this thing was rushed to the market, right? It was already, there's definitely going to be some, what's the word I'm looking for? There's definitely going to be some fatalities with it. People are definitely going to die from it because it was rushed to market and it wasn't properly tested. So he wants to see what's going to happen to everybody else before he takes it. And a lot of other Americans are feeling the same way. They just don't see the necessity for it. Why am I showing you, brothers and sisters, this? I'm not going to read the article. You can look this up yourself. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, this because they're going to have to ramp up the COVID paranoia again, right? Now, what you'll notice is that I was watching a video recently on YouTube where they were showing, it was a compilation of all the news stations across the country, pretty much doing what they call Operation Mockingbird. What is Operation Mockingbird, if you don't know? Where all the media outlets, they basically are saying the same thing, right? It's a script that they're reading from. And they were all warning about how over the Labor Day weekend, there'd be large crowds at the beach, at parades, at parks, et cetera, et cetera. And not shortly after that, you're going to start seeing and hearing that the numbers are spiking again. And pretty much from there, all bets are off. There could be other lockdowns, there could be other things going on, et cetera, right? And so the reason why I'm showing you, brothers and sisters, this particular article is because the mindset right now for most people is that they don't want to take the vaccine. They don't want to take it, right? Now, if you are in the military, you're going to be forced to take it. If you are a frontline practitioner, like a medical practitioner, especially, you're going to be forced to take it. These are decisions, especially if you're in the truth, you're going to have to sit down and have a discussion with your family about that. What is your decision going to be as far as taking it, not taking it? Are you willing to lose your job? Are you willing to what is the decision you're going to have to make? I mean, if you are a part of a body or a camp or so forth and so on, then you might want to consult with an elder or whatever your situation is. You're going to have to make some decisions with that, and that's not a decision that anybody can make for you. Every individual is going to have to make that decision for themselves. Okay, so I just want to say that. I mean, you guys have been and received ample warning on this channel. Like I've been talking about this shit forever. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say because it's the truth. This channel was one of the first channels to talk about this stuff. And nobody else was. Everybody's talking about it now. We was on the front lines from the door, warning everybody about all the stuff that's coming, the chaos that's coming, and get ready to ensue. And warning brothers and sisters to prepare. But everybody's getting caught up in everything else that's going on. Brothers and sisters is a distraction. Everything else is a distraction. That's why I don't get caught up in no bullshit. Pardon my language if children listening. I don't. People be trying to drag me into arguments, circular arguments on YouTube and Facebook, and I kindly dismiss them. You go argue over there. Because you distracted and you probably gonna be a casualty because you fucking distracted arguing about bullshit. Should we keep the law? That's decided already. That's the decided doctrine. Of course, we're supposed to keep the commandments, including the holy days. That's a decided doctrine. If you're going to the left or to the right, then go to the left or the right and get the hell out the way. I'm going forward. I'm not being distracted or sidelined with nothing. And that's the mentality you need to have. Now, this is some stuff that you guys need to look into, right? There's a province or a state, whichever one it is, in Australia called Victorian province. And let me just bring it up because if I just tell y'all to do it, y'all ain't gonna do it. So I'm gonna show y'all, but I'm not playing no videos. I'm just gonna show y'all. There's a province in Australia called Victoria Province, right? A lot of things that happen in the world, they usually test it out in certain selected areas before they bring that stuff here. And there's a province in Australia called the 1 second. I'm gonna stop sharing for 1 second. There's a province in Australia called the Victorian Province. The Victorian Province is on 23-hour lockdown right now, and they've been that way for months. I'm gonna bring it up and I'll share my screen. Okay, so let me just share my screen. You guys can do your own research and watch these videos. I'm just showing you if they exist so you can prepare you. When we talk about preparation on this channel, you'll get tired of hearing it and want to go watch a video of somebody cursing out an Edomite at camp or something like that. It's just cool to watch that sometimes, but you're just trying to inoculate yourself what's really going on. That's on you. I can't help you, right? So you guys should be able to see now. This is the Victoria Province or Victorian Province in Australia. They are on 23-hour lockdown, and they've been that way for months because of a so-called second wave of coronavirus out there. Okay? And there's no way out. And there's a video here on YouTube, right? I'm like you guys got to do your own research. Maybe when I have a little more time, I'll bring it up and I'll show it to you guys. But there's a video on YouTube where police are going and breaking down people's doors. Okay, like for instance, they've been under lockdown so long. Like you see how we've been here in this country, you've seen a lot of protests and marches and civil unrest and stuff like that. Okay, over there, you had protest and march organizers, right? That would go like on Instagram or on Facebook and say, well, we're going to have a protest here at this particular time, this particular day, right? The police was going and knocking down people's doors and arresting them for inciting violence before the march. Before. Okay. That's what's going on in the real world. While we're over here talking about WAP, okay, we're talking about this, that, and the third. Should we keep the holy days? Not. This is what's going on in the real world. Okay, London lockdown, right? Just about. London passed a law. I don't know how long ago it was. If anybody in the chat knows, where you cannot have more than 6 people congregated in public in London. No more than 6, because of the second wave of Corona. Brothers and sisters, some of those restrictions are going to start showing up here sooner or later. So I have been ad nauseum telling brothers and sisters, please, if it's at all possible, have 2 weeks to a month worth of necessities in your house at all times. Okay? Food that doesn't go bad, like canned food, dried foods, etc., that don't go bad. Water. If you are on any medications, get extra from your doctor. Whatever you need, if you're a woman and you need feminine supplies, get 2 or 3 months worth of that. Like, have everything. If you have elderly, whatever the elderly need, make sure you have these things in your house. It's better to have and not need than to need and not have. In this Victorian province of Australia, they're allowed 1 hour, and only one person is allowed to come out the house. You have to choose a person, and that person goes to the supermarket, et cetera, whatever, to get it and bring it back to the house. Everybody else is on lockdown all the time. Okay. And when you go to the store, they regulate how much you can actually take or not take. So it's real strict over there. And of course, the people don't, they march and protest, but they don't rebel too much. So it's like a test case to see how the people will react before they bring that stuff over here to the West. So brothers and sisters, you have to be prepared. I don't do these things to just be the bad person of doom and gloom. That's not why I do it. But the Most High said he sends forth the watchman. The watchman stands on the wall and sees trouble coming. And I see my people get distracted very easily, even in this truth. Brothers and sisters, I look at y'all Facebook. I look at what y'all post on Facebook and Instagram, and I see my people are distracted easy. And so I got to bring you back to reality and snatch you back to reality to let you know, yo, it's about to get real crazy out here. You brothers and sisters, listen to what I'm saying. Follow the laws of the land, right, in terms of certain things. But however you can protect yourself, consult your state's laws. Don't do anything illegal. But however you can protect yourself, you need to do that too. The Most High and the Son are our protection. Nobody's denies that, right? But the Most High also gives us warning of when things are coming. It doesn't mean don't prepare because we know the Lord is going to protect us. We can't ultimately, if the Lord doesn't protect us, we're all finished, right? But if the Most High gives you warning, then that means that you should prepare yourselves. Christ gave Israel warning before 70 AD. Did he not? When you read Luke chapter 21, Christ gave them warning before and told them, when you see Jerusalem compassed with armies, flee. So we're giving you warning. You're seeing the handwriting on the wall of what's happening, right? Make sure that you prepare yourselves. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. I speak specifically to my individual life brothers and sisters. I'm not dissing y'all so good. I got love for y'all. Congregations is not for everybody. Some people feel good in congregations, some don't. I enjoy being a part of a congregation. Some of you do, some of you don't. But no man or woman is an island, right? At the very least, if you're not in a congregation, because if you're in a congregation and y'all are not talking about these things, you're in the wrong place. You are in the wrong place. If your leader or your elder doesn't talk to you about these things that's getting ready to come and is not preparing you mentally, spiritually, and everything for what's coming, you're in the wrong place. I'm not saying that about any particular, it's just in general. You're in the wrong place. But if you're not, and you're on your own, you need to have a network. I don't care if it's your physical blood brothers and sisters, friends, whatever. You need to get with other people so that y'all can help each other, if possible, through this thing that's going to go on. Maybe have like a bartering system where you might have certain things A friend of yours may have certain things. If things get locked down, you have a little extra of this, you give it to them. They have a little extra of that, they give it to you. But you have to have things in place for the short term. It doesn't even have to be a whole lockdown in your city. There's examples in the same Victoria province before they went to a 23-hour lockdown where they were just locking down certain apartment complexes. If you live in an apartment complex that say maybe had 50 families and 2 people in that building came down with COVID, they locked the whole building down where nobody could come in or out. That's what they did before they actually went to this whole complete lockdown in the province. So there's a lot of things going on in the world. You need to educate yourselves on these things. Um, there's a lot of alternative news stations on YouTube that you can watch because you're not going to get a lot of these stories from NBC, CBS, etc. You got to go to channels like Press TV. Let me see. Um, Rupley, Press TV. These are stations that you have to go to um, get alternative news that they're not telling you. Um, Russia Today is another one. Um, BBC America is another one. You know, Al Jazeera is another one. Yeah, you gotta. If you're not familiar with these brothers and sisters, let me know when this video is done processing. I'll pin a comment at the very top of the. I'll pin a comment at the very top of the comments with a list of all these different channels that I just mentioned to y'all. These are alternative stations that you can see because the mainstream media here in America is like keeping our people in the dark about a lot of things, even from state to state. They don't tell you, like I just showed you with that whole thing with the bar betting on our people killing each other. That was like a local story. Many of you never even heard about that. All right. So we got to keep each other informed as long as the social media networks are available to us. We have to keep each other informed and abreast of what's going on because, we're living in perilous times, man. All right. Give me 1 second. Hospital McDowell said at 4 a.m. this morning he sold Zerubbabel Judah said it's going to be COVID-22 by November. Yeah, they're saying this is going to be. They're talking about something called the October surprise. Family, I don't know what that means. I just hear these terms online and I watch videos of different so-called truth tellers. I take some things with a grain of salt and some things I take more seriously. They're talking about an October surprise. Um, they're saying that the vaccine will be ready by November the 1st, which is a couple of days before the election. So there's a lot of things lining up. We just got to kind of, as Christ said, watch and pray. That's what we have to do, right? So you know, it's going to be a very, very cold, long winter. They're talking about a 10-day blackout. If you guys remember, you guys can let me nope, let me do it. It's like I always say, if I ask y'all to do it, y'all ain't gonna do it. Just show you. Let me make sure I can pull it up before. Yeah, yeah, there it is. Okay, so let me show y'all this because they be telling you stuff. You know what I'm saying? They tell you, but if you're not aware, if you're distracted by social media, you're not aware of half of what's going on in the world around you. Watch this. Our good friend Orange 45, that's what I call him, Orange 45. Back in May, y'all see the dates on all these websites. Back in May, they've been hinting at there being a possible attack from China because they blame everything on China on the national power grid. So they're talking about possibly uh, extensive power outages all over the country. And of course, they're going to blame that on China. I take this as a threat. I take this as a threat, which goes back to what I was telling you guys earlier about preparation. One of the things I left out is batteries, flashlights, kerosene lamp, things that don't require electricity. Batteries, all A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, all the different ones, flashlights, kerosene oil lamps, candles, and solar powered energy. I recently purchased one of those solar powered panels, little thing, no bigger than just a little bit bigger than a cell phone, where it's charged by the sun, and you lay your cell phone on that thing, and it recharges your cell phone pretty well, and it's very inexpensive. You can get these things on Amazon, and again, that goes back to what I was saying before about a bartering system, because obviously many of us are, right now without work, and many of us are going through different things, and you can't afford to do everything. That's where that bartering system comes in. I mentioned before. Whereas if you can't do everything, but you got a friend of yours across town that can get some of the things you can't get, y'all come together. You go listen. Unity is going to be required. If you by yourself, when this thing comes, you're going to have a hell of a time getting through it. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you facts. If you're by yourself, you're going to have a hell of a time getting through what's coming, especially you women. The Bible tells you in Isaiah 32, a man is going to be like a hiding place. That's what the Bible says. If there's a rolling blackout for 10 days like this, like some of these truth tellers are saying is going to happen, we don't know if it's going to happen or not, but I'm seeing that they're saying that China might attack the power grid. So there's something in the middle is going on. If there's a rolling blackout for days, and you as an individual, like you by yourself, you don't have no network, you don't have nobody that you're dealing with, and you a woman, man, you are a target. You better go and watch when the levees broke. All them women that was single, that was in the Superdome in New Orleans, by themselves. What was happening to them in the bathroom? I'm just keeping it a buck with you. What was happening to them in the bathrooms? Dudes was preying on them. It's going to be serious. So we got to warn you whether you guys want to hear this or not. That's my job. You can just be mad at me later. I don't care. I got to tell you this stuff. All right, so I'm about to um I'm about to end off. If you haven't hit the like button already, family, make sure you hit the like button. One more thing, real quick. One more thing. This is not related to anything else. Just one thing. Um, Give me a second. Yeah. Okay. I made a post yesterday on the YouTube community. Let me just say this to you guys real quick. Right. This is just to very small sample size of people that listen to this channel, listen to what I say, right? I've been getting over the years a lot of people that have been reaching out to me wanting to be a part of what it is that we do. I'm talking about my camp lives because we want to be a part of it. And we really like being a small camp. We want to remain that. I think we can be more effective. I like to know everybody that I'm laboring with. The Bible says that too. You should know them, those among you. You must know those labor amongst you. You're supposed to know them. So I don't believe in having 50, 8,000 men, and I only know about 100 of you. That's not my thing. I'm not looking to have maybe camp, right? But I always get a lot of inquiries. And what happens is that lately, especially, like people have been inboxing me in different states, like they're new to the awakening and they want to know who to congregate with. And I'm unlike a lot of people, because listen, I'm just gonna keep it up. Most camp leaders will not do this, but I do it. I will send them to somebody. I'm like, what state you in? Okay. You over here? They'll be like, well, who's a good camp here? I'm like, go to them. Some of these people will come to some of you camp leaders. You won't even know I sent them, right? And then they come back to me like, nope, I don't want to be over there. You see what I'm saying? And so basically, we've been confined. We try to keep ourselves confined to where we know those that labor amongst us. So we basically stayed in New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania. We just stayed there. But now I'm getting a lot of people that's coming to me like, no, we want a fellowship with you, right? So the next wave of our program, I'm gonna experiment, go against my better judgment. I'm gonna open it up. I'm only talking to the people that have reached out to me or possibly we're going to that are interested in fellowshipping with us. This is not gonna be something that's gonna be on YouTube for everybody. No, it's for specific people that reach out and we have a conversation and we see that it's a match. This is just specifically for them. I'm experiment with something in November to actually branch out outside of what I normally do. And this particular cycle of our 6-month program, I'm going to let people in from other states, right? So I posted it yesterday on YouTube in the community. I'm going to just show y'all the flyer again. if I could, real quick. All right, so it's the flyer, right? The name of the 6-month program that we have in our camp is called the Future Leaders of Israel, right? Because every man in Israel is a leader. I'm not looking to heap under a bunch of disciples under us. No, you are a leader. Every man is a leader in his own right, and so that's why we call it what we call it. Um, it's a 6-month program. It's also like betrothal. So when you meet a woman, you check that woman out, she check you out. So you come amongst us for 6 months, you learn, and we see if you're a good fit for us, we're a good fit for you. For those of you that have reached out to me and asked me, if you look at the bottom of the flyer, that's our phone number, 877-53-LIONS, and that's our email. All right. So you can email me at that email at the bottom, or you can call the phone number. And we're getting started at some point in November. If you reach out to me, make sure you leave your name, your phone number, what state you're in, and myself or one of the other elders will call you back. We'll have a conversation and we'll take it from there. This is only for the people that have reached out to me, or because it's quite a few of y'all. Then this is only for them, and this is not something that we did, and we've really spoken against it amongst ourselves for many years. Like, we didn't want to be all over the country, and we don't know half these brothers. That's how problems happen. You know what I'm saying? You let somebody in, you don't really know them, and then they go off the deep end. So we've never done it. But a lot of y'all, when I try to send you to other camps, you always come back to me and be like, no. And so what I'm gonna do? Like, you like, no, we want to fellowship with y'all, so I'm gonna go against my better judgment and do it. Just don't make me regret it. All right. And that, brothers and sisters, is all I have. That's it. Let me give a few shout outs to see if I missed anybody that's in the chat. Lehman's, yep, Lehman's is good. Yeah, Marshall. Shalom to Marshall from Holy Saints and Apostles. Yeah, yeah. That's the same program you and I spoke about. I will, me and you will talk. That's that's what I'm gonna say. Me and you will talk. I know you have a camp already, so that's not really. Me and you will talk about, because what I go into in the programs, this is not stuff I'm gonna go into on YouTube. Let me show y'all something. Y'all know, y'all, some people think I just be talking, but I'm always working. Y'all see all these red things right here? All those are PowerPoints. All right. So all these are lessons for the program. Some of the stuff y'all never see me go into on YouTube. You just won't. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the PowerPoints I can't wait to do, but I'm going to do it first. What's up, Myrtle? Family, give me 1 second. 1 second, family. Give me 1 second. You good, my man. 1 second, y'all. So this is one of the first PowerPoints they're going to go through in the program. The epistles of Paul, because for some reason, I can't say for some reason, the epistles of Paul have always been the thing that have jammed Israelites up, and half of them end up in the church or halfway in the church because of it. So we're going to go into the epistles of Paul like you've never seen before, to bring it to life. Stop reading it like we're damn Christians, right? This is a PowerPoint. Trust me, some of the stuff in here that y'all see, you've never seen or heard it like this before, especially when we get to the church at Corinth. The things that they were doing, oh my goodness. Because it's not always evident in the epistles. Sometimes you have to read the extra biblical sources to see why Paul had to write what he was writing. And some of the stuff they were doing, crazy. You know what I'm saying? What else? Where am I? Yeah. This is a great one on the scribes and the Pharisees. Good one. Because the people, like nowadays, everybody likes to call everybody a Pharisee until you get down to the nitty gritty of what the scribes and Pharisees were and where they went left. Because it didn't start off wicked, it started off righteous. But like everything else, including the priesthood itself, of course it became corrupt. When the Most High set up the priesthood through Aaron and his sons, the priesthood was righteousness. It became corrupt. It's the same thing with the Pharisees and the Sadducees. By the time of Christ, the people that were in those positions in those seats, they were corrupt, but the order was not corrupt. It was not corrupt. It started off as a righteous order, but that's neither here nor there. It's a lot of stuff, man. It's a lot of stuff. We go into DNA. Y'all can see that right there. Top. What else we got here? The whole book of Revelation, Russia. um, evolution, science. It's just, it's everything. We got everything going on in here. So that's happening sometime in November, Lord willing. All right. Marshall, we'll talk. Yeah. By the way, I know, Marshall, you had asked me about the whole King James thing, right? Because I that PowerPoint has been sitting for years, and I never really did it in public. I'm gonna give it to them as well, like fully, but it's like 6 hours. And depending on their feedback, then I'll see how I can present it to the main public. So yeah, we'll talk about that though, Marshall. You can just call me. What's up, Miko? Mika got the eyes now. I know why you got the eyes there because I said the whole King James thing, right? So you got the eyes there. Hey, you know what? Let me see something. Let me see something real quick. Real quick. Hold on 1 second, family. I'm gonna mute myself 1 second. I'm gonna see if I can show y'all a little gem real quick. Watch this. Hold on. Just bear with me for a second, family. I don't know if I brought my I don't think I did. I didn't bring my flash drives with me because that PowerPoint is on the flash drive. It's not on the computer. Let me see something. See, I'll be winging it sometimes. I just start talking, and I wasn't going to even do any of this, so I shouldn't be surprised that I don't have it here. Hmm. If I don't, I don't. It's not, and that just means it's not meant for you guys to see it. Well, at least not today. No, it's not on this computer. It's not here. Uh, no, I don't have it. Here we go. Oh, hmm. This is wrong. Okay, I actually can show you this. Let me just pull it up for a second. So, let me pull up. Let me pull up something for you guys real quick. I want y'all to see something. This is an exclusive for y'all that's hanging out with me here for a second. This is an exclusive. You might have seen this before, but maybe you didn't. If you didn't, then I'll show you this. Mika, this is for you. Just because I don't answer to every dumb thing that a nigga says on social media doesn't mean that I don't have answers. Sometimes I just choose, as I say, not to be distracted because everything is not for everybody. You understand? So check this out, right? I want to show y'all something. Show y'all something because y'all been so patient with your brother this morning. And then I'm going to get out of here. I'm actually going to show you guys two things. Let me go get this other joint too. I'm going to show you how the devil works. Right? Okay, there we go. Yeah, y'all gonna like this. Y'all gonna like this. Let me share my screen. All right, family. Do you guys see that? I want y'all to breathe that in for a second. And nobody, I made this. I researched this. Nobody did this for me. Nobody gave me this, right? This is just years of research. The Most High had this drop into my lap. All three of these guys are supposed to be the same person. Y'all see that? All three of these guys are supposed to be the same person. But you can clearly see how over time they both whitewashed the image and changed the hair texture. Do you guys see that? I'm going to tell you who this guy is. This guy is none other than Fedor. Who is Fedor? Fedor is the son of a very, very famous guy in history. We've all heard of him. His name is Ivan the Terrible. He's the son of Ivan the Terrible. That image on the left is from a book called The Rise of Russia, which I'm going to show you guys in a second. The book is called The Rise of Russia. That's where the original icon is. When you go to Google Images, you're going to see this image, you're going to see this image in the middle, and you're going to see this image because they've been whitewashing the image gradually over time. But the original image is dark. Now see how y'all got me teaching now. There's a method called cross-hatching because see, the Amun Ra squad just started studying this stuff. Let's just be honest, you got it from me, but you just started studying this stuff, but all of a sudden you know more than me now. So you come up and say, well, this is cross-hatching. For those of you that don't know what cross-hatching is a form of shading where they make the image look a little darker. So it's called cross-hatching. So you think you got me, but you can clearly see in this image, look at the hair. You can't cross-hatch hair. So now if the image was dark, but it had straight hair, whatever like that, you might have an argument. But because the image is both dark with woolly hair, I know, and anybody with sense knows, that's a black man. But over time, they whitewashed the image to where now you have the guy on the white. All those guys are supposed to be the same guy. That is Fedor, the son of Ivan the Terrible. How in the hell, brothers, do you think you got black Russian icons? Where did you think they came from? Because you have black rulers. I get it? Do you understand? Okay. Well, this is a jewel that I don't normally give you out. This will be going on in the academy. A lot more of this stuff. Let's come out of it for a second, though. Let's come out of it. Let's come out there for a second. Oh, I'm going to show you. Somebody said, what's the name of the book? I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you. And this book is very hard to find. But you might be able to find a couple of copies on Amazon. But if you're going to get it now. Because y'all know how they do with the books. Once the book comes out, you know, the price is going to go through the roof. Okay? This is the book that I got that black image from. Just come here. This is it right here on the left. Y'all see that? The Rise of Russia. Let me blow it up. Crap. The internet is kind of slow here at work. That's it right there. It's called The Rise of Russia. All right. It's by Time Life Books. Very old book. I got this book like in 1993. I had this book. The elders didn't have this book. They just used to say these people were black. But I went to Strand's bookstore on 12th and Broadway in Manhattan, and I was looking through all the books, and Most High said, here, hold this. That's where you get that dark skin image. Let me bring it back. Bring it right back so y'all can see it. That's where this dark image right here, this one right here with the woolly hair, that comes from this book right here. Y'all see that? Okay. All right. Y'all all right? Oh. It's going to be Malek Zaquan. So basically what it's going to be is going to be online for people out of state. Like I don't know if you got here late, but like I said, we normally just did them for people that was joining the camp that could make it physically to class, etc., etc. That's how we did it. But I've been getting a lot of people saying, no, we want to join the camp, but we're not close by. We want to do the program. We're not close by. So I'm doing something I never did before. I'm just hoping y'all don't make me regret it. Okay. So now, if y'all want one more gem, now I'm supposed to have been off this thing a long time ago, but y'all been good. Y'all been real patient with your brother for information. If y'all want me to show y'all one more gem, I want you to put one in the chat. Let me know. I'm gonna show you one more gem. One more. Just hit that one in the chat. Let me know. Because if I'm boring y'all, I'm gonna stop. Might be boring you. I don't know. Y'all would not put 7. Okay. 7 is not wasn't a choice, but it's all right. Okay. One more again, right? All right. Now, again, you got people, no disrespect to them, they just started studying this stuff like a year or two ago, and all of a sudden they know more than us. And think every time that they put our name in the title of a video or they call our name, I'm supposed to jump. No, you got to catch up. That's why Dr. John Henry Clark, who was their icon, made a statement, and I concur. I only debate my equals. All others, I teach. That's it. So on this particular subject, I don't have a lot of equals. Sorry. You know what I'm saying? There's some, but I don't have a lot. So I teach, either you get it or you don't. All right. Watch this. Let's share the screen again. All right. So let's talk about King James for a second. Because people always asking me about it. Always asking me about it. This is supposed to be his father. His father's name was Henry Stuart Lord Darnley, right? You guys can see when you go to Wikipedia, they got this guy here with red hair and everything, right? Red hair and everything. That's supposed to be his daddy. Okay. Let's keep in mind what we learned, right? Hold on a second now. Let's keep in mind what we learned. Let me bring this back up. Let's keep in mind what we learned. Gotta keep y'all attention. Let's go back to the Fedora picture, right? Started off black, minimal lightning a little bit. The hair is still somewhat woolly, but then the final product, a white boy. Y'all see that, right? Y'all got that. I think y'all are pretty clear on that. Okay. Well, this is supposed to be, whoops, I went ahead of myself, so y'all already seen it. This is supposed to be his father, right? This is what they give us. That's his father. Okay. Well, if that's the case, I'd like to know, who's this? Who's this? This is his father also. Now, I don't know if you guys can pick it up. In the left-hand corner right here, it tells you Henry Lord Darnley. This is a guy with woolly hair. When you come to Wikipedia, this guy has stringy red hair. Look at him. Look at him. Stringy red hair. Look at all these images. Look at him. Stringy red hair. Look, 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 look. Well, wait a minute. Because I found an image with woolly hair. Only one of them could be right, family. Only one of them can be right. Now, you might say, well, this is pseudo information. I don't know if you guys can see at the bottom right-hand corner, it tells you where this portrait is. You have to know where to look. The National Gallery of Scotland. National Gallery of Scotland. A man with woolly hair that they say is the father of King James. How is that possible if these were all white people? Why did they change it to a guy with red hair? That's what I want to know. Just asking. Asking for a friend. Asking for a friend. So I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. I think I done told y'all to death enough. Y'all tired of me already. I'm just gonna end it right there. There's a lot of stuff I could show y'all, but you know, I'd be here all day, and yeah. All I want to, what I want to end off with saying to you, family, this is the truth. Don't ever fall out of it. It doesn't matter how many videos that Sonetta makes mocking us. It doesn't matter how many books or videos that Garfield makes talking about us. This is the truth. Understand, we don't always say something, but when we say something, it'll be on time. You understand what I'm saying? There's a method to our madness. There's a method and a reasoning to why sometimes we respond and sometimes we don't. But this is the truth. We have the information. You brothers and sisters, stick with it, endure to the end, and hopefully the Most High will peradventure have mercy and deliver us and bring us into our land and set us up to rule this earth. All right. So that's pretty much it on that. Once again, just a reminder, if you want to reach out to us, let me just put this back up on the screen for you one more time. If you want to reach out to us, then this flyer is actually in the community. If you go to Maccabees TV and you click where it says community, this flyer is in the community tab. If you click it, it'll expand. Our camp phone number is at the bottom. The email is at the bottom. Reach out. Either myself, one of the other elders will get back to you, and we'll just take it from there for those brothers and sisters that was interested. And lastly, thank you to everybody that has supported me, whether y'all supported my business, whether y'all supported my, the donation tab on the website, whatever you guys have done. It's come in. The next time I go live, I'll be sure to shout everybody out that supported us. But thank you all for supporting us. This is a labor of love, so we're going to do the work anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I thank you all for supporting us because we need it, and we're trying to transition into doing some greater stuff as well. So, continue to support us however you can. It's your brother Priest. If you haven't hit the like button and you ain't been in my house for a certain amount of time, shame on you. All right? I'm out of here. I got to get some things going over here at work. I say shalom.
Yeah. The gyms are closed. I gotta get this aggression out. Let's go.
I describe myself as cold with a conscience. Can't roll with the nonsense. Don't mistake the cover of the book for its contents. I might show you kindness, swim with the piranhas. Things that we forget and to come back and remind us. Like we all have a past we want to put behind us. Designed to be good, but evil always seems to find us. A man can only change the things he acknowledges. Plus this heat is flame, but skills over politics won't be the same. What really has me stressing out? The gyms are closed, so I can't get this aggression out. Before we get the promises, there must be offenses. The Bill Gates of hell won't prevail against us. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. They don't really want, but we speak it to them. They don't really want, but we teach it to them. They don't really want, but we give it to them. We got the whole package, baby. Say my prayers. Thank God for blessing me. My life's an open book. Could that be why they're testing me? Maybe everything I do is done out of necessity. Stock is on the rise. I think you should invest in me. It's not strange. I'm money like blockchain. Except the things in life that I cannot change. Chant down Babylon. Payback is coming. I ain't LeBron James. You thought I came back for nothing? The game is canceled in the blink of an eyelash. Flow is sick. Grab your N95 mask. The new normal, it gets even scarier. All black and white, there is no gray area. Plain as day, we got the whole package, baby. Competition, their rhymes are all average. And that's my 16, nothing else to say, y'all. 5G raps, find me under the radar.